The dark side of Mounjaro weight loss. Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I have lost 61 pounds as of to date with 8 full months of being on Mounjaro. And if you're having tirzepatide weight loss, semaglutide weight loss, Mounjaro weight loss, WEGOVY weight loss, this is the video for you. Make sure you share it with a friend if you know they're taking this, to talk further about this subject of the dark side of GLP-1s and tirzepatide, semaglutides that people may not have thought of. I certainly hadn't thought about it until this week, and we're going to dive into that. But first, I had to tell you, I bought this week for loose skin. This is like my favorite loose skin cream. Loose skin creams don't work, friends. I mean, it's not going to change your life, but it does help. This one is a new scent, just came out from my favorite loose skin company. I buy mine. I'm not sponsored by them. I just am obsessed with it, and it helps with my loose skin on my weight loss journey. And of course, I do intermittent fasting with my Mounjaro weight loss, but to help cut down on loose skin. But this one is citrus. It doesn't smell like citrus though. It smells like the regular version, but it's the new one. It just came out, and I wanted to share it with my ride or dies out there. All right, let's go over dark side of GLP-1. What has transpired for me over the past really few weeks, but it hit the pinnacle this week that I wanted to talk to you about with my experience of being on 10 milligrams of Mounjaro with my injection, having such tremendous success of losing 61 pounds. I really haven't had, I had some side effects with Mounjaro, and I thought that was kind of going to be it. And I've been on this pink cloud for the last 8 months of not having food chatter, food noise. Some people are like, what is that? I'm like, if you don't know, then you probably don't know. It's where you're consumed with food thoughts, of where you think a lot about food. Food noise, food chatter, like in your brain, it's food compulsion, obsession. It's a nice way of saying that. Food noise or food chatter. And for me, it's at times an unhealthy relationship with food. And the crazy thing is, I feel like with Mounjaro, with my Mounjaro injection, it has really helped to heal that relationship with food. Until literally this week, I am on the tailwind of Mounjaro 10 milligrams. I have known for the last 1 month, 100%, but really 2 months, that I needed to titrate up to Mounjaro 12.5 milligrams, and I couldn't because of the Mounjaro shortage. And I've been stuck at Mounjaro 10 milligrams. I know I've needed to titrate up. And if you're like, when do you titrate up? I have a whole video on it. Go ahead and check out my Mounjaro playlist. So I knew I needed to titrate up. Have not been able to. Food chatter this week came back with a vengeance. Now, I put together literally last night, it was 10:30 at night, I sat up in bed and I was like, I figured out a piece as to why. I always say with Mounjaro injection, because the literature tells us from Eli Lilly with Mounjaro, that you should inject it in 3 places. One is your arm, one is your thigh, and then one is your stomach, near your belly button. And so I encourage people, because that's what the Mounjaro literature, Eli Lilly, tells us, to rotate those 3 locations, which I've been doing. I have had personally the most side effects in my arm, but also the most weight loss success when I inject in my arms. So in a sequence, for example, I'll do left side of arm, left side of my stomach, left side thigh, and then the next week I'll do right side, or after that, the right side arm, right side stomach, right side thigh. And like that rotation process, but it's really every 3 weeks, what is that, every 21 days? Every 14 days that I'm hitting my arms. Well, it's been that 14-day period, because this week when I took my Mounjaro 12.5 milligrams, which I'll do a follow-up video on that, on my arm, I realized, oh, that's why the food chatter in part has been hard. Now, this is where the dark side comes in with Mounjaro. Cut to the chase is that it's just having that food chatter came back, scared the dickens out of me. And I wish someone had told me this, which is why I want to tell you this. I wish I had known this information in advance. That food chatter came back for me. And what do? I'm on Mounjaro 10 milligrams. And then it got me thinking, what do I do when I'm on Mounjaro 15 milligrams? What's going to happen then? And through asking, and I have a 4,000 plus group member. It's a free online group. You're welcome to join it down in the description link below, as is my free Mounjaro weight loss success checklist down in the description link below. With that, other people are saying, yeah, I'm at 15 milligrams and the food chatter is back, but it's the highest possible dose. And one of our amazing countesses here in the Countess of Shopping community put in the comments and said, yeah, sometimes with medications, the dose just isn't doesn't work for some people. Like, you'll hit the cap, you'll hit the ceiling. And that has panicked me. And I refuse to live out of a place of fear, guilt, shame, condemnation. That's not my lifestyle. But my lifestyle is thinking further, okay, what happens then when I get to Mounjaro 15 milligrams? Because right now, I'm on day 1 of Mounjaro 12.5 milligrams. And I thought I was going to have a lot of side effects. I have not, which for me, I kind of actually really do like Mounjaro side effects, because I feel like I really do like Mounjaro side effects. So the fact that I haven't had them, I'm like, oh, am I going to stay full? Is this going to work? Like, I'm just letting go and letting God. Basically, I'm like, I can't, whatever. I know that for today I've eaten, I've been very full and focused in on my protein. So going back over to this, of what I want to encourage you to think about is what happens if the food chatter, and you are somebody who has had food noise or food chatter. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then this video is probably not for you. But if you're like, yeah, Elizabeth, I know exactly what you're talking about. I had that with taking Mounjaro or WEGOVY or semaglutide or tirzepatide. And I want you to think about this, because I wish I had thought about it further. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to start planning for, I think that eventually I'm going to hit this cap. I only have one more tier to titrate up to, which is Mounjaro 15 milligrams, and then that's it. That's the highest dosage. The elevator does not continue to go up. Now, we do know that we've got new in the pipeline, new GLP-1s that are getting tested. And literally, I just pulled up right before filming this on Eli Lilly's website. They've been doing it, and I'm going to mispronounce it because I mispronounce a lot of things. But it's the retroglutide. I've called it like every name under the sun. The retrotide. There's one, it's RETR, I believe is how and then glutide or something tide or DIE or something. It's in the trial basis, and that one's supposed to be way more powerful than Mounjaro with the results. It's still in trial, but it's not obviously FDA approved yet, but it's down the pipeline, as is pill format for GLP-1s, as opposed to injections, as opposed to weekly injections. So there's more stuff that's coming. And so that is an option that I've been trying to like coax myself with and not sit in this panic space. Because again, I keep reminding myself I refuse to live out of a space of fear, and can't live in fear if I'm in faith. So I'm going to go over to the faith zone and trust. This medication came out of nowhere for me at the end of right after Christmas. And literally I got my hands on it like at the beginning of January 4th. It had just gotten approved from the FDA January 1st, and that was a miracle in itself. So I'm trusting and just letting my hands kind of go up that this will be figured out. But what do I need to take ownership of? Now, I mentioned this on Instagram, and it was fascinating to me, the response, because that video, if you follow me on Instagram, you can see it. There's comments from people who clearly don't understand about GLP-1s, WEGOVY or Mounjaro, or people who are doing Mounjaro for weight loss. They just don't understand it. They think that obesity, I'm like, boo, I'm an intelligent woman. I have access to resources. Do you not think that I've tried everything, done everything that I possibly could to lose this weight? Do you think that I want to be 100 pounds overweight? Like, oh yes, please let me be on, let me not actively try to fix this problem. I'm successful in pretty much every single facet of my life, except this juggernaut of weight and obesity. And I have tried, keto, Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, South Beach diet, bone broth diet, cabbage diet, egg diet. You can go down 10 million different diets. I've tried them all, and nothing has worked like Mounjaro has, because it's changing my brain. It's literally changing my brain and that brain-body connection of I'm full. Oh, that's what full feels like. For me, that every time I'm like, oh, that's what full feels like. I'm 8 months in and I'm still like, oh, that's what full feels like. Does anyone else experience that? Tell me in the comments below. Do you experience that of, oh, that's what full feels like? And when I didn't have that, I didn't feel full on Mounjaro 10 milligrams this past week, really 2 weeks. And I had the food chatter come back. Oh my gosh, I was clutching my non-existent pearls. What am I going to do? I had erroneously assumed that the food chatter would be gone basically the rest of my life. And the fact that it came back scared me so much. And if you know food chatter, you know what I'm talking about. You know, for me, it was gripping, gripping. And to have that gone the last 8 months, and then to have it return, oh my gosh. So here's some action steps. I don't want to live in the problem. I like to live in a solution. So let's talk solution of what we can do. One is new information is coming out. Science is amazing. Woohoo! Go scientists! I'm praying for you every day, scientists. We love science. 2, what I can work out, that's not within my control. I can't control the science of it, but I am praying for them. 2 is my workout plans. Literally, I started lifting again yesterday. If you have been here for a hot second, you have seen me. If you're an OG Countess, you have seen I used to lift weights many years ago. I used to do like videos here, and I haven't done one. And my husband was like, it's probably where I was consistently lifting 3 or 4 years, somewhere in that ballpark. I mean, that's all, since before the pandemic, which that's a long time where it was consistent. I may have done it like here and there, but like consistent. And if you want a lifting plan that's customized for you, I've got a great resource. I'll put it down in the description link below. And a customized food plan too. I'll also put that in the description link below. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't crazy expensive. And I started lifting yesterday as a result of this. It set me in that much panic. I'm like, I need to get back into lifting 100%, like no ifs, ands, or buts. And 2, eating as cleanly as I can. And that was what was interesting about Instagram. And I'm going to come back to those in a minute. But on Instagram, I felt like people's answers were not understanding the science behind GLP-1s of like, do you not think I have not tried my food plan? And is there areas I can tweak on it? Sure. And that's what I'm going to do because that's within my control. Do you not think that I've worked out? Well, I hadn't lifted in years, so which is why I took the suggestion. But it kind of hurt my feelings that people came out of the gate when I was trying to talk about the science of GLP-1s. And that's to me is where there's this big disconnect of where people just don't understand yet. It's coming and it's a yet, but they just don't understand. And so that's not my job to change people's opinion. Like, I'm not a doctor. I never claim to be one, and I don't pretend to play one on the internet or a nutritionist or any of those things. So I'll let that community handle the science part of it. But my experience, strength, and hope with it, I found it very interesting that people immediately, when I started talking about food chatter of, and not the science behind it, really, I got a little bit upset for a second. And then I was like, you know what, people don't know. And they don't know what they don't know, and I got to give grace, because I need grace, because I don't know either. Everything, obviously. I realize how much now I don't know out of things. The more I get older, I'm like, the older I realize how much I don't know about everything. But giving them grace, and giving myself grace too. However, having gone through this experience the last week or 2 weeks with this food chatter, what can I take back while I have this reprieve? And I am praying in Jesus' name that I have a reprieve at least for the next few days. Today I have it. I have a reprieve. Thank you, Lord. And I'm praying it will last longer, but it has been the dickens. It has been, I mean, it really, it's been hard. Oh, also somebody else was like, oh, about like your eating and stuff like that and cleaning. I'm like, do you not know that I know? Like, do you not think that do you not think that I don't know that? Like, I do know that. That's not the answer that I was looking at. Like, the answer and what the intention of was, like, for medical person to kind of chime in, which obviously I'm going to talk to my own doctor, which is what I tell you guys. If I'm not asking the internet to be my medical professional, I'm going to go to my own medical professional and have a conversation with my own medical professional on my medical advice that I need. And other people had also said, oh, you need to go to counseling and things like that. I'm like, do you not think that I've not done that? Like, do you not think that I've not been through like a rigorous healing programs as well to like calm the relationship with my food? Like, of course I have. Of course. I've literally turned over every single stone. But people don't know that. Again, giving lots of grace. People don't know that. But I do think that that was something I wanted to talk about and share for you of, maybe you haven't thought about it, of have you been to therapy or some sort of, if you're having an unhealthy relationship with food, trauma counseling. Usually most people have had some sort of trauma or severe trauma underneath it that they may need to look at and have healing with. For me, most definitely. 2, is my food as clean as it could be? No, I can control that and work on that. 3, am I actively moving my body? And then for me also part of that was lifting. Like I need to lift weights, losing muscle mass as we do. And for me, one of the biggest things that I highly recommend is getting this smart, I'm not sponsored by them, I bought this myself, is the smart body tape measurement. So it tells me, and it all syncs together with you can buy the scale separately and you can sync all the data. Of how many inches, you've lost, like it tells you your inches and measurements. And that's very helpful. I'll link that down below, as is all my resources, like my Mounjaro shopping list and all of that stuff will be linked down below. But what can I control then off of that? And what can I not control? And the wisdom to know the difference between those things. Like, that's where it's been interesting. But this food chatter thing, I do think I have not seen a lot of people talking about it, of once you get on it, and I've been grateful and blessed that I've been on it now for over 8 months, the thought of this food chatter coming back, and we talked about it in the private, my free group, I have a paid group, but the free group with over 4,000 people, about how some people are like, yeah, I'm on Mounjaro 15 milligrams, and yeah, it comes back. They've had it come back, and then what you do. So I think part of my other solution is I know my 2 arms are the best places for me. For the time being, I'm going to alternate on my arms, and I'm going to alternate where I inject. Like, you know how it gives you the purple circle of where you inject it on the Eli Lilly literature? I'm just going to inject it higher or lower and rotate my arms back and forth each week. So upper arm, next time upper arm, next time lower arm, next time lower. So I'm rotating like that. I'm going to leave my stomach and thigh alone for a hot moment, because I want to I'm wondering if that's part of my, I know in my stomach I don't have as strong, I don't know, help or whatever. It doesn't give that alleviation of being satiated, and the food chatter component. That for me is like the lowest. And then second is thigh, and then the best is for my arms. But it does give me the most side effects on that. So know your body, thy own self be true, test it between those different injections, left and right side, and then the variations of where, and then also the 3 different locations. That's, for me, is something I'm going to try and do as well. But man, I feel like I was not expecting this, and I felt like I've done my research. I've been pretty in depth into becoming a Mounjaro usage person, that I knew a lot. That man, oh man, oh man, oh man, I was not expecting this. And what a gift this is to have had a reprieve for 8 months. But if it gets taken away, so to speak, again, what am I going to do? And so that's why I'm like, I am trying to lose as much weight as healthfully possible, always in a healthy fashion. I had some whack job leave a comment the other day on YouTube here, like, oh, you're promoting this. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm promoting, please go at a pace that your doctor tells you to, of whatever your doctor tells you is healthy for you, because that's what I'm doing for my own body. So go at the pace you want to go at. I'm not trying to say, oh, lose this crazy amount of weight. That's not what I'm glorifying by any means. And continuing to work on like as much weight as I can, because it's going to stop, I think, at some point, potentially. And we don't know. We don't know. It just got FDA approved January 1st. I started taking it January 4th. So like literally one of the guinea pigs, I may have 5 heads, and I'm okay with that, actually. To have what I've had to lose 61 pounds when I could not. And it makes me emotional every time I say this, when I could not stop the food noise and the food chatter, and every night I couldn't stop eating, and I wanted to, and I felt like I had done the work. Like during the day I would walk, and I'd walk for a long time, and then at night, and then I would just eat so many calories that would blow out any sort of weight loss, because I ate so many calories at nighttime. And to have that stop was truly a miracle for me, and it's been a miracle the last 8 months. Now, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? I have no idea, because I only know for this breath, this moment, today. And I'm just going to stay in today and give it to God and science and the medical professionals who are sorting this out for us and that are cheering for us, because there's so many medical professionals that are. And if you don't have a reputable medical professional who is cheering for you on a GLP-1, find a new doctor. There's a lot of them out there, a lot of medical professionals and nurse practitioners too. Nurse practitioners can prescribe medication. There's some gnarly nurse practitioners. Oh my goodness, in our group that just didn't know. It's like, I thought Mounjaros are only for diabetes, and like went off. And anyways, lots of grace for other people and for myself too. But what I do know is the difference between diabetes, like Mounjaro is getting approved for weight loss. It's literally going to happen here very soon, this fall. They said it was going to happen now, like it's going to be happening in the next few weeks, if not the next few months. It's in 2023. It will get approved. So that's why I'm like, people are like, oh, having it for weight. Of course, like it's just like WEGOVY was. WEGOVY is Ozempic, except it's prescribed for weight loss. Same thing. Same thing. That's what's going to happen with Mounjaro. I think it may keep the same name, but it may be packaged under, who knows, it may be packaged under a different label, just like WEGOVY was, and that's going to change insurance also. For some for good, some for maybe not. I want you to keep talking about it too. In our free group with thousands of people in it. It's a safe space. I do not allow spammers. I do not allow affiliate stuff unless it's my own. We don't, I'm very strict on that. So it's a safe space to keep it a safe space for people. And so talk about it. Talk about it in there. It's a private group. Talk about it in there. Because I think that that's important, because we are truly guinea pigs. With people taking Ozempic and WEGOVY and semaglutide and tirzepatide and Mounjaro. This is like wave 1 of GLP-1s. We're at the very genesis of this. There's so much more coming down. I mean, these trials that they have in place, we'll see what gets approved by the FDA. It's very fascinating. And there's a lot of them. Eli Lilly has a lot of trials going. That was one of my things people were asking me about in the group too. If you can't afford certain things, there's a lot of trials. I looked up one. It was actually for the, I'm going to mispronounce it, from Eli Lilly. It's under Eli Lilly. They have 1 near me. I put in my zip code in Pennsylvania. I could do a study. I'm not going to, but I could. So if you need to look to see where the closest, join one of those studies. Now you could be in one of them where they give the placebo where it's actually nothing. But they do have studies going, and that is an option. So quick follow-up. I had talked about in my last video about being on the Tamron Hall show. I was in the promo because one of our Countesses told me, and I had released to producers to use my videos to be on the Tamron Hall show, and I got cut. So if you didn't see me on there, that's why. And then other people have been asking me about QVC. I am with QVC as one of their guest hosts, but brands have to pick me. So just FYI, people have been asking me, when are you going to be on QVC? I got to get picked by a brand. I had a brand I was going to work with, but I ended up doing a family trip with my son, which you probably saw in my What I Eat in a Day on Mounjaro video. I went on that trip with my son, which I had planned for a year, and I wasn't going to cancel it for a work thing. My son, that was important to me to commit to, and so I lost the job basically because they didn't want they wanted somebody who could be there obviously for the show. So that's where we are with all of those amazing, more great stuff is coming down the pipeline. It always does. It always does. So let me know down below, do you have questions off this? Does this help? Hurt? Where are we with all of that? I want to know in the comments below. You guys know I read all of your comments. I may not respond to all of them, but I read them. I try to respond to all of them though. So put down below your thoughts. Would love to know. Be kind. With your kindness for me is huge. Be kind in the comments, but I'm very curious your comments. And then 2, here at Countess of Shopping, we do a thing like Marvel Easter eggs where I give an emoji. If you've made it this far, you can put the turtle emoji down, and I will know that you watched this far in the video. And that also, I'll pray over you. I'll send you positive energy, intentions. If you don't believe in prayer, then I'll give positive intentions or positive thoughts. But I like to know, you guys know me, I want to get to know you. And so certain names pop up, for example, Erlene always comments every video, and I'm like, yay! So that's one example of many, many, many countesses and counts out there. And our next video, it's coming out this next week or 2. There's some good ones. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you've not gotten my free Mounjaro Success Checklist, go check that out. 125 protein ideas. I have a whole blog post. I've got lots of blog posts on those too. And join our free Mounjaro. I got a ton of resources for you, and they're free. There's a couple of paid ones, and there's mainly free ones. So go down the lane which makes the most sense for you. Okay, my sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings, because life is delicious. I will be on Amazon Live, which is my set that I'm on right now, later on this week too. So make sure you click subscribe on that as well so you can get notifications. Mwah. Have a great day, friends. Love y'all.